I'm recording a video with my new phone. Hopefully this works. Hello everybody, Smokey Smokes here. I'm going to be doing a tobacco review on one that I did review already. It is Cornell and Diehl Irish Blessing. Although last review I figured it was overhydrated, so I just sort of opened this bag up and let it dry out. Actually for over a day. I would say like 30 hours. I think that's a much better consistency now. It's still relatively wet, but it's not nearly as wet as it was when I first smoked it. So we're going to give it another go here. I'll loosely pack. I have a tendency to tightly pack in my pipe bowls, so I'm going to do it a little looser right here. And then the final pinch right there. Using the same exact pipe I did in previous reviews as Medico Cavalier. You can get these whenever they have them available at smokingpipes.com. That's good. It's supposed to be just like an Irish mist. I think what I mean by Irish mist is like Irish cream, like the liqueur. I think that's what the Irish part refers to, but it's basically just black Cavendish. It's supposed to have an Irish flavor to it. Wow, that night and day. I'm tasting it right away. Whoa! Night and day difference. Night and day difference. Just those first few puffs. Now, I don't want to get too excited. I don't just want to end the review there, obviously, because the problem is, oftentimes, particularly aromatics, even like cheap ones, they do taste good initially, but they immediately lose that flavor because the coatings or whatever, sugars or whatever they put on it gets burned off quickly. Okay, so far, it tastes a lot better than it initially did when I had it, when I figured it was overhydrated. Because the bag was like really moist. There were droplets of visible water in the bag. And in my initial review, it wasn't really a review, it was just, it was supposed to be a review, but I just threw it up online anyway because I wanted to kind of have like a lesson video, an educational video to show people what it would be like what it's like to smoke overhydrated tobacco, what it tastes like if it's way too hydrated. If it's way too, and that was a text message I got. If it's way too hydrated, it basically tastes like nothing. It kind of just tastes like you're smoking steam, pretty much, if there's too much water. So I just opened up the bag I thought it was going to dry up quicker, but it didn't dry up that much, so I waited like over a day, overnight, a few hours into the next day. And now it's at a much better consistency, I think. I almost want to make a video on how to dry out overhydrated tobacco, because I did make a video on how to moisten or dampen, how to hydrate dried out tobacco. It's much easier. All you have to do is just open up the bag, but that would be the whole video, so I don't even think that's worth making a video on. I mean, the birds are noisy today. So this doesn't taste amazing, but it tastes pretty good. It's a lot better than it was when it was overly hydrated. It's got a bite to it. It's got a really bright Irish cream flavor. That Irish liqueur, Irish whiskey. It's mild, but it's bright tasting. That's the best way I can describe it. Like vanilla, Irish cream, peppermint. Those flavors I consider like bright, and then like chocolate, coffee, caramel. I consider those like darker flavors. That's my best way of describing it. It tastes like a bright, sweet, sugary tobacco. Cavendishy for sure. I think the only tobacco in here is Cavendish. It's very simple. It's very one note. Not getting really any tongue bite. Room note's amazing. I think even people who don't particularly smoke at all are going to like the way this smells if you happen to be bringing this somewhere and smoking it. It's good. I'm kind of not sure what else to say about it. but it is, just by drying it out, it's amazing how I finally am getting the full effect of the flavor now. I'm finally actually tasting it. As someone commented, you'd be surprised, just let it dry for a little bit and you'll notice a night and day difference. Whoever that person was, you're right. Flavor hasn't really changed yet. It's a good aromatic. So I don't think it's really anything special either, though. Yeah, it's basically what you, the title is what you get, Irish Blessing. It's just like an Irish cream Cavendish tobacco. Typically I like to go for flavors that are a little bit more complex, a little more bold. This is just alright. I wouldn't really go out of my way to smoke this compared to all the other aromatics that are out there, but it's not bad. There's certainly, it's certainly not as bad as a lot of other aromatics out there, like a lot of them, particularly Sutliff. I can't tell you how many different Sutliffs I've tried, because Sutliff, if you're familiar with them, they make a lot of tobaccos. I think particularly aromatics, and I've had a lot of their aromatics before. Mostly because they have such great names and such great concepts, but 90% of the time I'm very disappointed with them. Either they don't taste like anything, or they have a lot of tongue bite, or they initially taste great for like the first few puffs, and then that coating or whatever they put on the tobacco just burns off instantly, and then you're left with cheap, crappy, ashy tobacco. Most of the time, but there are a handful of Sutliffs I really like Sutliff Malto Dolce, Sutliff Vanilla Custard. I think they made a pumpkin spice one and a candy corn. No, I think Russ made the candy corn. But there's a handful of Sutliffs I like, but my point is, a lot of aromatics can be very disappointing. It's very easy to screw up an aromatic if you're a tobacco manufacturer. This is good. Yeah, it's almost like I'm tasting legit sugar through here. It's weird. I'm just imagining things, but it's almost like I can feel the texture of sugars while smoking, so it's really bizarre, but it's good. Yeah, it's good tobacco. If Irish cream's your thing, if vanilla is your thing, like those bright, sweet tobaccos, this is worth a shot, you know. Smells good. I think other people around are going to enjoy the aroma that you're putting out with the tobacco, so it's... good stuff. But yeah, it's amazing how, again, how much better it tastes just by drying it out a little bit. Well, I'm going to shut the camera off, and if the flavor changes at all, I'll let you know. I'm back. About to call it quits with this. That relight you just saw me do, that was the only time I had to relight the tobacco, the entire smoke. Pretty impressive. The flavor didn't really change one bit throughout the whole thing. It's starting to get that kind of ashy flavor because the bowl's almost done. It's getting there, but it stayed pretty consistent, very consistent actually. Good, it smoked very cool, pretty much no tongue bite I can detect. Basically everything I said, I'm just going to repeat myself. It's a pretty good aromatic tobacco, smells really good, it's a generally lighter smoke. It tastes a little better than probably, I would say like half the aromatics out there, has a little bit of a stronger flavor, because a lot of them don't taste like anything, frankly. It's good. Recommended. Recommended.